I am Brian, otherwise known as Hylian Alchemist, otherwise known as Alchemist, otherwise known as Alk. I Beyblade because it's fun. It's a good place to go when you don't want to be home and get to see your friends and share your love and passion for a hobby with people with, you know, general shared interests. I'm a huge fan of using the West Coast Beybladers as a third space to go. That's not work, not home, with different people than you usually are associating with, just to just expand your circle. One thing I think it kind of comes to mind is we talk a lot about the male loneliness epidemic, and I think one of the solutions for it really is just come out and spin some metal tops from time to time, is to create something like that for as many people here in LA as we can. To the extent of learning how to play it the way I wanted to play it was difficult. You can just choose the most powerful thing that's available, launch it as hard as you can right in the middle, and let the gods of RNG do their thing. But I pride myself on being able to take the combos that I like, that I enjoy, and still be able to do relatively well with them. It can sometimes be an uphill battle, but that's part of what I enjoy about it, is the challenge of overcoming what might be really unfortunate matchups. Sometimes you get the wrong, you're going into the wrong combo, but sometimes it's wrong combo, right tech. My first tournament was very nerve-wracking. I went alone. My wife was very encouraging of, hey, like, you really seem to enjoy this. You should go and see what's out there and see who else is playing this and wanting to play Beyblade on the same kind of way that you are. And so my very first tournament was almost an hour away from where I lived. It had 16 people, none of which I'd ever met before, spoken to before. I had 3 Beyblades to my name and a Vans shoebox. And I think that first tournament I got like 6th place out of 16 players. I'm not much of a collector. I don't really own a whole lot of things in general. I mostly just purchase things that I'm going to use or am really excited about testing out, or plan on using in a competitive sense. We're very fortunate in our scene that we have so many players who are collectors and they will buy everything and they will test everything, and you can usually trust our judgment for what's good and what's not. International communities also are great about, if you trust another player's judgment, that if they tested it out and they tried it and they do or don't like it, then you can kind of make an informed decision from there. So thankfully there's a lot of other people who do collect, so I don't have to. And that definitely makes my life a lot easier and keeps my wallet happy. I wouldn't say that Beyblade as a like competitive hobby is super expensive, especially compared to a lot of other competitive hobbies like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that, Pokemon cards, where there's really just a huge scalper market, and a lot of the things that you kind of have to use in order to really enjoy yourself with it do come at a much higher price tag. The closest thing we really had to that in X so far has just been like Aero Pegasus, which the price fluctuated quite a bit from when it first came out to, I guess, now with the new rare Baguette battle situation. It's going to go up in price again, but there's always new releases. There's always new combos being made of old parts, and so you don't have to always have the newest best thing to be good at the game, and I think that's really good for people who are trying to get into it, especially when you consider arguably like the single best purchase can be found at Target or at Walmart for anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks in the Sword Phoenix starter pack. Basically anyone trying to get into the game might as well start there and kind of build their collection from there. And so I think in overall terms, it's probably on the cheaper side in terms of competitive, expensive hobbies would go. I'm fortunate that the club that I'm in, that I helped to start, did so well this first season 0. But that also comes with the difficulty of, we play a game with so much chance. There's so much RNG. You can hit the perfect launch to exactly what you want it to do, have the right matchup, and you can still lose. And that's ultimately not just part of the game, that's part of life. But when you have players who play so well, so consistently, we've had multiple number ones who then have losing streaks up to weeks to sometimes months of doing so well and then so poorly, playing the same game, doing the same thing, and wondering what's different. It's nice to be able to vent those frustrations out. And when it comes to losing, one thing I've especially realized is typically the frustrations don't come from the loss itself. It's from what you bring to it. It's from whatever emotional baggage is going on outside of that 5-minute match. And if you have difficulties with your job or at home, or you're just overly stressed, you're on one hell of a calorie deficit, sometimes you take that frustration and put it where it shouldn't be. And we do that all the time. We do that everywhere. And that's not usually the best way to move forward on things. And so for me, when I lose, and it happens all the time, it's just reminding yourself that it's not personal, that the attitude you bring to the match is what dictates really how you feel about it. And at the end of the day, we're just there to enjoy each other's company. Basically a back room of a game store in the middle of August with nothing but a little fan in the corner and no AC, playing on these janky tables that everyone hated, and somehow was able to come through with a win that day. And then being able to just take that feeling, that confidence of I can do it once, I can do it again. And one thing I actually say a lot is Beyblade feels kind of like NFL. Any given Sunday could be the day you win. And it really does, just any tournament you go to, you have a shot. And that kind of makes it really enjoyable. And then I was, on top of that, I think even bigger than my first win was when people are basically trying to figure out what to use against me. They'll be talking to each other and trying to say, oh, like what does Alchemist use, what should I use against them? And basically the unanimous answer is don't use Rod Ball. And you basically hear that from I hear that from everyone who's new to the game or already experienced, and asking other experienced players. If you play Alchemist, just don't run Stamina. There's no point. He's going to KO it. It's nice when the best combo in the game is being told not to be used against you, regardless of what it is that you're doing. So it's definitely a very proud moment for me whenever people tell me that, like, oh, like I went and switched my deck around for you, or oh, like I took this out because I know like it's not worth it against you. It's always nice to know that people are kind of planning against you and have that, not a target on your back, but like they know what you do, and they have to kind of plan around it. And so it's definitely a nice feeling when I hear that at tournaments. For the most part, I used to work from home, and then I actually moved down here to the SoCal area for college, and then dropped out of that program and just kind of stayed in the area. My wife already had some friends who lived here, and now I feel like I'm actually living in SoCal. I have a real existence here instead of just having a home here. And so if it wasn't for the West Coast Waiters and all the the wonderful people that I've met through it, it would mostly just be me, my wife, and our friends. So I think most people that I know that I play Beyblade competitively. My mom actually likes, I think, every single Instagram post that I make on my channel. She'll just go in and I'll see her little notification every once in a while, and it's like, all right, well, at least she knows I'm good. And doing all right. In terms of like professionally, I've never told any of my coworkers or bosses or anything like that. Especially in like corporate America, you don't really talk to people like that. It's pretty cut and dry. But my family knows, and they support, and they're very happy that I have friends and a group of people to hang out with besides them. And and my wife and people that we know here in Long Beach prior to joining the West Coast Bladers. I would probably say I own at least 60 to 70 Beyblades at this point, just over the last year of purchasing. I don't really buy them. I don't think I've bought myself a Beyblade in maybe like 2 to 3 months. But prior to that, I was probably buying at least 2 to 3, like 2 to 3 a month at least. When I first got into it, I was just trying to play catch up and like, oh, I gotta buy everything that's been released so far. And then after that, just kind of slowed down. So I would probably say around 60 to 70 at this point, and then really only play with like 5 or 6. I think I have like all of my like extra spare parts in a Ziploc baggie, and then I have an actual like fishing tackle box for my like competitive parts that I take with me everywhere. And then everything else is just kind of in a Ziploc bag. The thing that makes me feel the most inspired to continue to compete and play is definitely the friends I've made. Being able to talk to people regularly, being able to see a lot of the same faces, even like once a week, once every other week. It's always a nice touch base outside of life. And then even in the middle of the week, where the group chats are always popping off, the Discord's always popping off. You become more and more familiar with people just through what they're sharing. We just opened a new food channel in the Discord, and people are already throwing all their photos on there of things that they've made, things that they've eaten recently, and so you kind of get to see all these new places you've never been to. And so being able to consistently have a place to go and be around people you want to be around makes me want to keep going. And then being able to compete, kind of put your energy into something, is definitely another reason why I continue to go. Is just you never, like, any given Sunday, any given tournament you could win, and you're never gonna know until you go. So you gotta go.